Oh yeah. There we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, we got one in store for you today. Today we're going to talk about what I believe is one of the most underrated baits out there in fishing overall. A lot of guys don't talk about it. Maybe that's the case, but who knows? So, before we get into it, I want to say thanks to all the new subscribers. I want to thank all the new family members here at Yak Nasty Adventures in Fishing for hitting that like and hitting subscribe and commenting down below. It really means a lot, and I appreciate it, guys. And if you're ever in the area, stop by Cheswold News and Tobacco for all your tobacco needs and more, guys. Let's get into it. So, guys, the bait I'm talking about today, man, oh man, it might be a little bit too much juice for you. I don't know if I want to put that out there really, but I'm going to do it because you need to know about it. You need to have this tied on. You need to have it in the boat. You need to have it in your yak or just in your tackle box as you're walking around your local pond, whatever the case may be. This bait needs to be with you, or you need to at least have a couple of these things ready to go. All right, especially in the wintertime, but they work all year round. It's so versatile. All right, so the bait I'm talking about today, guys, is an inline spinner. You see that right there? This one in particular here is a rooster tail. All right, I only mainly deal with two brands when it comes to an inline spinner, and that's rooster tail and that's Meps. Okay, because these two inline spinners seem similar, but they're not the same. I use them for different techniques. They can be interchanged and used the same way or a similar way, but I'm about to get into why I use them a little bit differently depending on the situation. So, guys, the first reason why I love to fish an inline spinner is because it catches everything. It really is a catch-all style bait. You can catch anything from bluegill, perch, stripers, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, you name it, trout. You could really catch some trout on the inline spinner. You name it, guys, you can catch whatever fish is in the water with an inline spinner. You don't trust me? Go throw one. Trust it. These baits with that big old blade right there shaped like a spoon, with that weighted brass shaft, this thing is a beast in shallower water. It is a beast in, I'm telling you, 4 to 8 foot range. That bait really does the trick. And with the Meps inline spinner, you can attract some big fish, okay? Because this big blade right here is just a thumping, okay? It's big vibration, it's got the shine, it's got all the attractants that you want in a bait, okay? And this thing here is on this one in particular has that feathered treble with a little red accent. You see coming out of that? Look at that, with that red accent. This bait I really love to use in stained water, some dirty water, tannic water. This one here will do the trick because that thump, that vibration that it produces, and that shine, along with that brass on there, provides exactly what the predators are looking for, and you just want to go ahead and fish that thing, man, and you will be surprised what you catch with the Meps inline spinner. There are so many different types. Look, I got this one here, which is awesome in stained water. I have another one for you. This one there with the baby trout plastic on the back, and it's got that inline all the way through and double hooked, okay? But moving on to the rooster tail, which many people call inline spinners rooster tail. Rooster tail is a brand, but you know, I even have a habit of saying rooster tail, just like we call a chatterbait and any other bladed jig a chatterbait. It's a bladed jig. But, you know, the rooster tail is what this actually is. And, man, the rooster tail is an awesome bait. It does great around wood cover, shallow. And I like the heavier weighted rooster tails because you can get them down to depth and catch those bigger fish as well. You can fish them on those ledges, you know, where the depth change is, and you can really throw that rooster tail all the way out there and let it drop all the way down and really fish this awesome bait. So the rooster tail, as this is actually called, all right, is weighted totally different. It's almost like a wrapped lead bait or a painted bait, okay? In this case, it looks like shrink wrap with the pattern on it, and it's just been heated and sealed on there, and it's good to go. But this weight system, as you can tell, is completely different from the MEPS, okay? So with this weight system here, you can definitely throw it out, let that thing flutter on down as it's going to do, and get it in depth, and you can keep it down in that depth range, okay? And the rooster tail is really made with more of a willow style concaved blade, not teardrop at all. It is really just a willow blade without the pointy point down below, and that rooster tail really catches some nice fish. But we're talking about bass fishing, right? I also know they catch everything. These catch nice sized bass. They are an awesome search bait, okay? Inline spinners are a fish catching machine, and they are an awesome search bait, okay? You can get out there and find where the fish are and cast around fairly quickly, all right? So it's a moving bait. It's one you're going to throw out there. You're going to want to let get to the depth or desired depth that you're trying to fish, and you could just reel it in, give it a couple twitches, you know, to speed that bait up just a little bit and attract those fish. And I don't know what it is, guys, but fish really love an inline spinner. If I wasn't clear before, you can fish these in any depth range as long as you have the right weight, okay? You can get up to a 3/4 ounce or more rooster tail, and you throw that thing out there. You launch that thing as far as it'll go, and you let it get down to depth. You can just slow roll it right over that bottom cover or right over the bottom itself, okay? You can keep it right in a mid column. So if you wanted to keep it about 8 foot in the water, you can keep it at 8 foot deep in the water, all right? And you can really put on some monsters with a rooster tail or an inline spinner. Now, there are some offshoots, and I have a couple of them handy, like this one right here. This particular style bait is an inline spinner bait, right? But you see it, it's a little different. Oh, got the hooks. It's a little different, guys. It's got that prop. It's got that bead in there, that clank clank. All right, so that is a little bit different, and I love to fish these way deeper, okay? I like to throw these style baits all the way out, let that thing get real deep, okay? So if I'm fishing in 15, 20 foot waters, I'm going to throw it out. It'll get down there quickly, and you can reel it back fairly fast, okay? This does not have as much drag as a MEP spinner or a rooster tail, all right? Now, this is a Chinese offshoot, And this bait right here, surprisingly, does well in deeper waters, all right? You don't want to throw this up by the cover. You don't want to throw that up by the trees because you're most likely going to get hung up, guys. That's just what's going to be happening with that particular bait, okay? And another offshoot, and you see that's weighted just a little bit different. It's got that bead for a little click clicky noise, and you see that willow style blade. Now this is more like a traditional willow with the pointed tip on that blade, and of course it's concaved, so it'll definitely do its spinning. And I love to use this all gold bait right here in stained water. It just does it, guys. You don't need a whole lot. It's just a bunch of metal spinning and clanking down there, and bam, you get a hookup. All right, guys, it's out of Japan, and it really does some awesome stuff. And I have another one, right? Just an offshoot from the maps and the rooster tails. Look at that. You see that? It has a fish or bait fish head presentation to it, and that's how this particular bait is weighted, guys. Look at that. And it, you see it's been tore up, guys. You see that thing? That thing is tore up. All right. And it also has the painted blade. Look at that. You see, it's got the matching painted blade to go with that bait fish head right there. And this, believe it or not, looks more natural than one would think down there in the water. And I love to fish this bait here a little shallow, between 2 and 4 foot, and just give it that slower, moderate retrieve depending on the temperature. But just bring that thing back straight and just give it a few pulls to give it that bait fish, style swim. You know how a bait fish moves, right? But that's when I throw this particular bait. Gets out there, it rocks shallow. You can fish it on those depth changes, those ledges right there, and get a hookup. Inline spinners, guys, I'm telling you. Moving on, let me break down when I'm going to throw these inline spinners. All the time. Okay? I just made it that easy, guys. You can throw an inline spinner on a calm day, all right? On a rainy, windy day. You can throw an inline spinner any time of the year. You can just throw it. You can catch them. You can get some on, all right? You definitely want to pay attention to the weight. You want to pay attention to the style of bait, okay? Like this one here. You see it's got that plastic on there. You're going to want to fish this where you know you're going to attract some fish, and there's bait fish around, but you need something that's going to stand out. You don't want to throw just a little Kitech paddle tail. No, you want to throw something that's going to stand out in the crowd or out the crowd. I don't know. Stand out from the crowd. And this normally gets the job done. That baby trout on that Mepps spinner right there, it really gets it going. All right. And I really prefer to throw these Mepps in stained water. All right. So the way I think about it is Mepps, bigger blade. You know, you want more thump, more noise, more vibration. You want to go with the Mepps. All right. If you're going with more of a chill presentation is what I'm going to call it. More finessey, I guess. But they're the same. They're all finessey. But if you want to go with something a little more subtle, not as hard hitting, not as heavy of a vibration, I'm going to tell you now, go with the rooster tail, right? So you see, I got these here hooked all in together, but you're going to want to go with the rooster tail. And these are my lighter, finessier rooster tails. And as you can see, I got a painted blade right there. And with the chartreuse black, I have a gold blade on this one. You always want to be ready, all right? And for the clear water, now this is one that's been with me for a long time, all right? But in clear water, I love to use this here Bumblebee natural colored Mepps spinner. I just love to throw it. It just works and it does its thing, guys. But when in doubt, you can just pull the white one out like this here. This one here is a 1/4 ounce bait. I love using this one in a little bit deeper water, 8 to 10 feet. It really gets down there and you can fish that thing in all the places I've just said with the submerged cover, some submerged wood. You can really get around that stuff pretty good with this open treble hook. You're going to want to throw those, all right? So remember, rooster tail, less vibration, MEPS, hard, heavy thump, all right? And then everything in between. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. So, I'm calling it the most underrated bait in fishing. Okay, guys? That's what I'm going to call it. That's what it is. I don't hear no one talking about it. Or maybe I just let the cat out the bag, guys. So, with that being said, homies, go get you some inline spinners. Oh my goodness, man. It is a good time. You could take the kids out. The kids can throw an inline spinner. You could take the wife, she'll throw an inline spinner, and everyone will catch fish. Any fish. Any kind of fish. And have a good time, guys. So, when you're thinking about it, next time you go to that tackle shop, guys, go ahead and get you some inline spinners. You can order them on Amazon. I know Temu has some, but I don't really know how those work. But my trusted brands are MEPS and a rooster tail, guys. Go on and get you some. You will be surprised at how many fish you put on the boat, the bank, or the yak, guys. Once again, the most underrated bait in fishing. So, guys, with that being said, it is my time to go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. And, hey, leave a comment down below. Do you fish inline spinners already? Do you believe that they're underrated? Or just guys don't talk about them because they've been around since 1960s? Who knows? It's an old school technique. Well, guys, thanks for checking it out. Tight lines and all that good stuff everybody says. Peace.